it's a rainy day down here on the border, and the truck's messed up, so I got to go to Kenworth and get it updated. I hope that works. I got some computer issues. So I stopped at the taco spot, and it started raining real bad. We're waiting for our tacos in line, and one guy's like, I think I'm going to eat here since it's raining so bad. I was like, that's a great idea. And so I ended up getting my tacos. I talked to another feller, and about 3 more people. Anyway, I went and sat down, and I started talking to him about, driving around. I asked him, I said, well, what do you do? And he's doing overhead power down here in South Texas. And so I was like, well, where's the power coming from? You know what I mean? And he's like, well, they're doing this, doing that. It comes from a lot of different areas, and we're putting in more substations. And I guess an INDOT, INCOT, whatever they call it. So it's all, it's a big deal. Anyway, so while this guy's fresh telling me about the distribution of power, I got these various things in my head or whatever. Anyway, I started talking to him. I said, really? I said, yeah, I just come from California. All this rain is from that volcano that went off, that Gatunga eruption in the southern hemisphere. The moisture's now in the northern hemisphere. That's why we're having such great amounts of rain and everything like that. It should level out in a year or two and get a little more back to normal. And we talked about the provisions of the weather and good for how like there was all those fires, and then now there's all the rain right back behind it, especially like New Mexico. So just like preparing the earth itself for a wonderful growing season, and how great is that? That's cool. Anyway, I started telling him, I said, I've been traveling. I said, really, my job is to encourage you to read the Bible. Because I can tell this was a no-nonsense kind of guy. And the other guy I talked to, he was sitting at the table behind us. And, which I did not realize he hadn't showed up. So I'm talking to this guy. So I'm sitting over here eating and talking. And I got so fully satisfied, by the way, that I didn't finish the tacos. The most excellent, delicious half a taco, 3/4 of the second taco, I literally threw it away because I just became so satisfied and fully filled that I did not need to overeat. Which says a lot about my mental space and my relationship with food. Okay, so that's a bonus tip. Assess your relationship with food if you're fat, because there's probably some traumatics in there that if you deal with that, you'll be more likely to be healthy. Anyway, so I'm talking to this guy, and we're talking about, your kids. I'm like, well, if your kids are at home or whatever, and you leave out, and then you come back, and they didn't tear nothing up, great, because we were talking about salvation and stuff. So I'm like, well, if they didn't tear nothing up, hey, that's great. But if I come home and they did all their chores, washed my car, and freaking did their homework and stuff, and came up with a new project on their own, I'm like, wow, son, this is great. You really did some good stuff here. And I'm very pleased with that. I'm cool with just didn't tear nothing up. If you have kids, you know what I'm saying. Okay, so this was directly after I mentioned, I should have said this first. I said, what are you going to take with you when you die? Take a record of everything you ever said and did, and your soul. And then Paul said, my brethren, whom I yearn to see, might delight in the crowd to reap the victory. So on Judgment Day, with Jesus, I'm in the line with the sheep, not the goats. And then when I get to the podium, like I'm getting a medal, these angels are going to read out these books, everything I ever said and did had the motivation behind it. Like, why did I do the things I did? You know what I'm saying? And then because your why is bigger than your what. That's another bonus right there. Your why is bigger than your what. You know what I mean? It doesn't really matter what I'm doing in the earth, but if I'm doing it to glorify God and build the kingdom, I have purpose. If I have purpose, the hard days are not just palatable, but they come kind of expected. They come kind of like, if the situation ain't fighting me hard enough, am I doing enough? It becomes an assessment of the battle space. So we're in a spiritual war. So that's kind of incredible. You see the guys that work out all the time talking about they go on these weighted kind of jogging, kind of marching. They call it rucking. So this weighted travel on foot in harsh conditions, they hate it, and then after a while they start to love it because they're training under harsh conditions, so they're getting more out of the training. There's something changes in their headspace where they're getting, you know, this assessment of the reward for the output of effort. You know what I mean? So a lot of that stuff comes from been there, done that. If you have not been there, that's why I say you can't buy experience. If you have not been there and you have not done that, you don't know the nuance. Even I think I watched Elon Musk was talking about how he hired people, right? So like if you're known for buying a large amount of company and then, you know, making it extremely more profitable, and then like you're buying, you know, the Boring Company, Twitter, Tesla, SpaceX, you know, this guy's like, how do you hire people? And he's like, well, I ask them, what major problem did you solve? Then I ask them questions about that problem. And if they don't know the nuance, then they stole somebody else's idea. They didn't really do it themselves. Because there's things that you only know through the experience. I call that experience that we call life, our day-to-day life. That's going and doing. And then because I'm a redneck, kind of like the auction sale, I say going in and doing it and doing it and going in and going in and doing it. Because like humor and personality, right? So they sometimes they call it like a catcher. Hey, that's that guy. I just passed that guy. He's out here filling potholes. Anyway, the guy that's sitting down behind me, I just passed him. He works for the Texas Department of Motor Vehicles. He was, not only was he had a shovel and a truck full of asphalt, he was actually actively filling a hole. Wow. You never know. Like, you might talk to the guy that leans on his shovel, and then he actually works. Like he was working anyway. I get a lot of good feedback right now. Thank you, God. If you're mad about road construction, just drive through the ditch for about 10 miles. You'll appreciate the road that you have. If you're complaining about road construction, you're not appreciating the fact you have a road nearly enough. It goes back to all squawking and childlike emotional outbursts. And that's for me. I'm going to watch this later like, what the blah, bleep, bleep. And I will need that moment to mature into Christ likeness. Anyway, so I'm sitting there talking to the guy. I tell him from right now, till you die, you're in control of what this angel's going to say in front of God and everybody. I've delivered that several times now to the point that it's getting pretty good. It's getting pretty good. I like, especially if you catch them outside on a clear day, and you kind of stand beside them and you're like, the whole world. You know what I mean? There's God and all his angels in front of God and everybody. And that's a phrase phrase in the South. So it really has some impact and some lineage impact. It ain't no joke. These words have power, boys. These words have power. Power of the pen is that somebody's writing it down and everybody else is reading it. They wrote it down, and now whoever reads it for however long, it's impacting over and over and over. Incredible. It's like everything you've ever read before. It's not like nothing ever before. It's like everything you've ever read. So be careful, little eyes, what you see. Don't read the propaganda stories. Read from truthful sources. Read from truthful sources. And then, like, read multiple translations of that truth to figure out what's really going on. Because, devil. Anyway, so I'm telling this guy this. And this guy said something about it. I'm like, look, man, if it wouldn't have started raining and my truck wasn't messed up, I wouldn't be here to talk to you right now. I said, my job is to encourage everybody to read the Bible. I just drive the truck for fun. And half the times when I say fun, I'm being sarcastic. Oh, yeah, this is fun. Working for free today. Anyway. I say to the guy, he said, yeah, I'm working for free, yada yada. I ain't worried about money. Of course, I have some. I'm broke, man. Like, I am thoroughly in debt. I'm in so much debt that I'm surprised that the bank would loan me that much money. And yeah, but I had FU money in the 80s because I grew up at the end of the last dirt road. I'm like, there's my motorcycle. I can squeeze the handle on the pump. We used to go to all the pubs and squeeze the handle and get enough to ride around for a couple hours because we were kids. We had no money. And anyway, so I had FU money back in the day. FU money is barter system, off grid, off, just wild living. You know what I mean? It's a thing. Still don't know why nobody grows tobacco in Oklahoma. Still, I've yet to figure that one out. Everybody smokes over there, and nobody grows tobacco. I mean, how hard can it be? How hard can it be? They never had the thought in their head. You see them lined up at the gas station over there in Missouri. All these people come from Oklahoma. They'll be like, give me 3 cartons of this and 4 cartons of that. Okay, sir, that'd be $475. Same person a week later. Well, I can't believe my electric bill's $312. How am I going to pay this? Perhaps if you just grew your own tobacco, they don't have all the extra chemicals. Who knew? They never had the thought. Anyways, the thoughts, the words have power. Do you hear the words that are coming out of my mouth? Do you understand it? Dunamis power. The root word for dynamite is spoken words. Pretty sure the pyramids and stuff was built through levitation from the Levites that understand the harmonics. Like a singer breaking that glass, a little wine glass, frequency. Anyway, stay on point, Skip. Tell the story about how you're telling the story with 17 caveats next time. I'm not sure what a caveat is. Is that a type of potato? Anyway, almost got hit head on by another Unimax truck. That's interesting. This road's flooded out. It just takes a little bit of rain. The ruts. Do you drive these trucks, bobtail, and this rutted out, wet? It's just like you're just squirming down through there. Anyways, so the guy says to me, so you think this is all just like coincidence or whatever? I said, well, people say coincidence real fast and they don't hear the meaning of the word. It's co-instance. And like if we just got quiet right now, how many people's talking right now? 13. There's 13 people talking simultaneously. So that's coincidence. I think this right now that's happening between me and you is a divine appointment brought about by my truck breaking down and needed service, and then the rain raining, and like we all enjoy the talking. So as we join together to eat, the water fell out of the sky so much, and it was a real heavy rain. I was like, so much water fell out of the sky that we all decided to sit down here and eat. I said, so that's a coincidence for sure. I see it as a divine appointment. And then, and that's why I brought up that volcano making it rain. I was like, so God knew this day would be here. You know, He's the Alpha and the Omega. So God knew that this talk would happen today, right here, right now, the way it is. And if I told you how many miracles it took for me to be here right now, and you know how many miracles in your life it took for you to be here right now, I'm talking to Him, I'm talking to you too. You know this is miraculous status in the earth, via the unseen realm. It's a big deal. It's a big. I thought about two other jokes right there. I didn't say it because it was PG-13 at best. So we end up eating and everything like that. And he goes on about his business. The guy stands up from behind me. He said, "Hey man, that was freaking awesome, dude. You know what I mean, or whatever." And he said it his way of talking. And he's like, "Man, keep me in the line," or whatever else like that. And I looked at him and I said, "Hey, Jesus just walked in here and started talking to you. What do you think He would look like?" And he's like, "Kind of like you." I was like, when you look in the mirror, like when you brush your teeth in the morning before you go out, just look in the mirror. If you see anything that don't look like Jesus, make the proper adjustments. And don't be scared. And it was like, it was pretty epic. And then now I'm driving down the road, and the guy, I mean, it's raining and everything. If this dude just went, parked somewhere, and just sat there, he'd make the same money that he made. But because he was thinking about Jesus, His moment of excellence, His salvation, doing all your work as if you're doing it for the Lord Himself, He's standing out there in pouring down rain next to a highway, a 2-lane highway. I mean, it's dangerous to be out here on this road. It's dangerous to be out here on this road with these trucks driving by all squirmy. And he was out there, and he's just straight up shoveling into this pothole, just fixing the road for us, man. It's like freaking, they say all, what about not all superheroes wear capes? Well, I tell you what, a bunch of them have reflective vests. I'll say that for sure. Because, I mean, that's a real American hero right there. And, yeah, it's pretty cool, man. It's just off the chart awesome, really. Sorry about that. I have windshield wipers on my side glass. I got to roll the windows down and back up. It's like a single wipe to use the mirrors. All right, that's probably been long enough. I hope you've been encouraged to do your part today, whatever that looks like. You know what I mean? It's not your what, it's your why. Your why is bigger than your what. So get off your butt and go get them, you